Yeah. Well, when she passed, it was so sudden. Yeah. In April. She found out she had lung cancer and it was too late. It was terminal. And it was very, very quick. So, it really knocked the stuffing out of me. After years of quiet grief and unanswered questions, the truth has finally been confirmed. Tom Jones's beloved wife, Linda Trenchard, faced a heartbreaking battle that ended in tragedy. The official cause of her passing sheds new light on the private pain the legendary singer carried behind the spotlight. It turns out what really happened in her final days is more devastating than many ever realized. Few love stories in popular music were as enduring or as quietly resilient as the marriage between Tom Jones and his childhood sweetheart Melinda Rose Linda Woodward née Trenchard. Long before the bright lights of Las Vegas international tours and global chart-topping hits, there was a teenage boy named Thomas John Woodward growing up in Treforest, Pontypridd, Wales, and the girl who would remain the emotional anchor of his life for nearly 60 years. Tom and Linda met as children in their small Welsh community where life was modest and tightly knit. Their romance began in earnest when they were around 15 years old, an age when most teenagers are still discovering themselves. For Tom and Linda, however, young love quickly turned into lifelong commitment. On March 2, 1957, when they were both just 16, they married in a simple ceremony. It was a bold step for two teenagers with limited means, but their bond was already deeply rooted in shared history and loyalty. Only a month after their wedding, their only child, Mark Woodward, was born. The early years of their marriage were shaped by financial struggle and uncertainty. Tom worked various jobs to support his young family, while nurturing his passion for music. Linda, meanwhile, focused on building a stable home life. As Tom's powerful voice began attracting attention in local clubs and eventually beyond Wales, the foundation Linda provided became increasingly vital. When fame arrived in the mid-1960s with international hits and a growing reputation as a charismatic performer, life changed dramatically. Tours, television appearances, and long stretches away from home became the norm. Yet, Linda chose to remain largely out of the public eye. Unlike many spouses of major stars, she avoided red carpets and interviews, preferring privacy over publicity. Her strength was quiet but constant. She managed the emotional side of their world while Tom navigated the demands of global celebrity. Their son, Mark Woodward, would later become Tom's manager, creating a rare dynamic in which family and career were closely intertwined. Mark played a crucial role in guiding his father's professional decisions, especially in later decades when reinvention and longevity became key themes of Tom's career. Through it all, Linda remained a steady presence behind the scenes, rarely photographed, seldom quoted, but deeply influential. In early April 2016, a sudden and unexpected announcement from Tom Jones sent shock waves through his global fan base. At the height of an active international tour schedule, Jones abruptly cancelled a string of performances across Asia and the Middle East. The official statement was brief but alarming. The cancellations were due to a serious illness in his immediate family. No further details were provided at the time, leaving fans and media outlets speculating anxiously about what had happened behind the scenes. For an artist known for professionalism and stamina, even well into his 70s, the decision to halt major international dates was extraordinary. Jones had built a reputation over decades for honoring commitments and maintaining a demanding touring calendar. The abrupt pause signaled that the situation at home was grave. Although he did not immediately name his wife, those closest to the family understood that his lifelong partner, Linda, was critically ill. Linda had battled health issues privately for some time, choosing, as she always had, to remain out of the spotlight. Throughout Jones's meteoric rise, from Welsh clubs to Las Vegas residences and global superstardom, she had avoided publicity. Now, in her most vulnerable moments, that privacy continued. The family released minimal information, requesting understanding and respect during what was clearly a painful period. Behind the carefully worded statements, Jones made a decisive personal choice: family first. After nearly 6 decades of marriage, he prioritized being at Linda's side during her final days, rather than fulfilling lucrative tour obligations. For a performer whose life had long been divided between stage lights and hotel rooms around the world, the shift was deeply symbolic. The man who once traveled